Yeah, it's Farley Pickleball Podcast. I'm here with Pickleball Pete, aka Pops. So we have a few topics here. The first one is going to be paddle technology. What you want to say about paddle technology that's going on right now?
Well, the paddle technology, it looks like it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
No one really knows when it's going to taper off, when it's going to be, when it's going to plateau. But for right now, I mean, there's a slew of paddle companies out there now. There's got to be at least 100 of them.
Yeah.
And people are doing innovative things with the paddle. They're changing it constantly, the handles, the shape. And I think probably in about 2 or 3 years, there's gonna be one kind of paddle where everybody's just it's gonna be similar to all paddles. And then that's where people are gonna say, hey, this is the paddle we want, and so everybody's gonna buy it. Just like in tennis, the paddles, all the tennis rackets changed over the years. So what happened? It took like 10 years, and boom, they finally settled on this is the paddle that everybody's gonna want.
Yeah.
And so
Just like put this closer a little bit.
okay.
Like racquetball too, because you had told me something about the racquetball,
my
like the
gosh.
frame, and then it just changed like everything, and everybody was using that same frame.
So I was in racquetball for 35 years, and I saw it go from infancy until up to where it is now.
Yeah.
When we first started out, it was like a caveman racket. It looked like a sawed-off tennis racket that McEnroe used to use. And now, and then it went to metal, then it went to graphite. Graphite was a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big deal. But it was still like small and petite and tight,
Right.
And then the racquetball people said, let's change this. Let's make it longer and wider. Okay. Yeah. So they made it as long and as wide as a tennis racket.
Mm-hmm.
But they still kept the handle short.
Right.
But they changed the measurements of the paddle, and I think that's going to happen in pickleball too. They're going to change the measurements of the paddle.
So you think the actual size of the paddle is going to change eventually?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What about the face? You think that there's going to be like, because first it was like fiberglass and everybody was buying that because they were making it like that, and now it's carbon fiber, carbon friction. You think that's going to change as well, or you think the carbon's going to change?
No, that's going to change because if you look at it, more and more players are hitting the ball harder and faster. Mm-hmm. So they want a different surface on the paddle. The thing is, like now, there's the last 10 or 12 tournaments for pros. They've been saying, nope, you can't use that paddle. You can't use that paddle because it's illegal. It's illegal. So they have to change the specs of the paddle. Mm. And I think they're going to do that because, let's face it, not only are the players losing out, the companies are losing out, and that's they don't want that. They want to make money.
Yeah.
But they can't make money if you can't buy their paddle because the PPA or the APP says no, that's not to our specs, and that's not the regulation. You can't use it.
So if that's one of the things on here is the rules, the rule changes for pro and amateur. Do you think that the rules should apply to the pros just like the amateurs, vice versa, or should pros have different rules than amateurs in tournaments?
In some aspects, like say the serve, for instance, I think it shouldn't be allowed to hit the net and then go in on the serve. I think it should be a clean serve.
Okay.
Without hitting the net. Now, in the amateurs, it doesn't matter. You can do that. In the pros, you can't do that.
Right.
Also, the serve now is a big deal. I mean, I don't know if you watched the last 3 or 4 tournaments, but the refs are getting the pros for serving the ball wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, it has to be. They got McGuffin. They even got Ben Johns. I mean, they got all all Sean's.
Yeah.
They got a slew of good players who have fast serves because they said, "Oh, you're serving it wrong.
Yeah.
You're serving it from up here above the waist instead of below the waist."
Right.
So they're really keeping an eye on that,
Yeah, they are.
and I think that's affecting the players too, because I mean, it would affect me if a ref called me twice on my serve. Come on, I've been doing this for 10 years, and
Yeah.
now you're
How
going
am I
to call
supposed
it.
to serve now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it would change your serve. It would change. I mean, how hard you hit it. What kind of spin you're putting it
Exactly.
on it, because you're hitting it a certain way, and then it's gonna mess up your.
Yeah, you have to rearrange your game. I mean, who wants to do that?
The fine bad sportsmanship. And you wanted to talk about that to fine players a certain amount of money, or maybe games like suspensions or something from tournaments, or
Pickleball does need players who are like bad boys. Like McGuffin and Tellez and a couple of. But as far as throwing your paddle, no.
Oh, okay.
No. That's
so no tantrums.
exactly. Okay, you can get mad and say stuff, but why throw your paddle? That makes you look bad. That makes the sport look bad. That looks bad for the company that's sponsoring you for that paddle.
Right.
I mean, it's just the list goes on and on down the line. So if I was these guys, I'd be careful, because now they are finding people, and they're saying, no, you can't do that. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, I would definitely. I'm for that, because you want to keep it, like a gentleman's game type of thing.
Exactly.
You don't want it to be like a crazy game where people are cursing at each other, throwing paddles.
Yeah.
There was that one time, I can't remember. I think it was DJ Young who he threw his paddle, but I guess like he just threw it down, and then it ended up tumbling.
Yep.
And then it went into the audience. It hit some lady. I mean, it didn't hit her like crazy hard or anything. There was another one. I think it was Elise Jones, and that was a while ago for the PPA in Orlando. And I think she was playing with Dizon, and they played against Catherine and Annalie, and they lost. So when she's like getting off the court, she's well off the court, she's like cursing up a storm, and she throws her paddle, and it did the same thing. It ends up rolling, and then it hit some guy on his leg. Ooh. Again, it didn't hit the hell out of him.
Yeah,
like
but
he was like, "Oh my gosh!"
You got to be careful.
Yeah, that's just the thing. I mean, you have number one. They should definitely see the whole safety aspect of it, because what if it does really pop up? Somebody's not looking, whatever. Then you go into like lawsuits and all that crap, and then
words don't hurt nobody, but
right.
throwing paddles, that hurts people.
Paddles hit.
So you got to be
paddles
careful.
Hurt. Words don't hurt. Paddles hurt. What about for the money cutbacks? What about that you wanted to talk about? That happened
I think
a few weeks ago.
That the players they got messed over on that. Let's face it. These guys play hard day in and day out, week after week. They should be getting paid, and not just from that aspect, but from I mean, they're making pickleball what it is today.
Yeah.
You got new exciting players. You got people who, that's all they're doing is playing pickleball.
Yeah, they quit their jobs. They're training like every single day.
So why take money away from, I don't get it. Let's face it, these people that are doing the tournaments, man, they're making a slew of money. They're like making a lot. I'm gonna say a lot of money.
Yeah, they're banking.
So why be greedy? Hey, give a piece of pie. Give a piece of the pie out to players, because not only do they need it, but that's what they survive on.
Yeah, they're the ones making you that money.
Yeah, and let's figure they don't make that much money. Come on,
right?
Not like tennis players. Hell, even racquetball players make millions of dollars nowadays. Yeah, you get badminton players, they're making million. I mean, pickleball's right there with them.
Uh, I think I think they shouldn't be cutting back in anything. But the whole like issue is like with the contracts and everything like that, and if something turns out to be what they planned or not planned,
Well, that's another thing.
I don't think that the players should be punished for that.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we thought it was going to go this way, but it didn't, so we can't pay you, even though you signed a contract. So does that go the other way? Like, I'm not feeling up to it. So even though I'm supposed to, and I signed a contract to play all these events, I'm only going to play half.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And if that happens, then the player's at the fault, and then, they go after the player. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it hasn't happened, but I'm pretty sure if that would happen, that's what they would do.
What do you think about the APP saying, okay, you can play in this tournament, but you can't play in this tournament? The PPA is doing the same thing. You can play in this tournament, but you can't play in this tournament.
I think it's BS. I think that players should be able to play wherever the hell they want. They're trying to just...
They're trying to be controlling.
They're trying to pull these players here, and the other one's trying to pull them there just to separate it. They had the whole thing. It's going to be like that for a while until they decide to merge, and then it just becomes one. Whether it's just the APP, whether it's just the PPA, or they mix everything up and they call it something else. But because the whole NFL had that. They had I think the AFL and something else, whatever it was. It was two different things back in the day. And then they merged into NFL, and it was just one thing.
It's just NFL, but they still have the AFC conference and the NFC conference, but they did merge. But it took them a long time. 20, 30 years.
Yeah, it was decades.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens with them. I don't know. I don't see it happening soon, because I think the owners are pretty greedy for that.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're just going to be like, all right, well, we'll just do this. Like, I think it would be way better for the sport. It's gonna take the sport like a huge leap if they merge into something, and it's just like one thing of pickleball. Like, this is, like MLP. Like, just have everything and then just call it MLP, and it'll just be that. That way you can just go into one thing instead of two or three different things, and then forcing the players to either play in this one or that one. I think that's crap for them to try to do that to them. Next issue, balls. Have you played with the Vulcan?
Yes, and I love to play with that ball. It's a good
You liked
ball.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I liked it.
What'd you like about it?
I liked it because, first of all, it lasts longer than the other ones I was playing with.
Yeah.
Usually two or three games and the ball would crack or split. And the Vulcan, it doesn't do that. It maintains its elasticity and all that. It to me, it's a little bit more sturdier than the balls I was playing with.
Is it worth $4 a ball?
No.
Hold on, where's my sorry.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, what?
No.
$4 a ball.
They're gonna lose.
That's crazy.
They're gonna lose people. They're gonna lose profits. They're gonna lose interest.
Yeah.
Come on, when you first come out with something, don't put it higher than anything else on the market when people haven't even tried it yet.
The only thing that they have is that because the PPA is using it, people are going to want to use it because that's the ball that we have to play in that tournament with. So people are going to buy it. That's why they're doing it, and that's why they're being greedy as hell, because they said people are going to buy this because they're not going to go out and play with Franklin and then come and play with the Vulcan in the tournament. They're going to want to practice with the Vulcan that they're going to play in the tournament with. So let's boost those prices. That's why they're doing it. Like, for sure. And I
I,
think
I, I,
I think that's terrible.
I think it is, and like I said, I think they're going to lose out because,
Yeah.
okay, the PPA might say this is our official ball, but Joe on the street's going to say, you know what? This ball costs $2. This ball costs $4. Let me get that
Let me
$2
get the
ball.
$2 ball.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you have some companies like, was it Core? That's selling their balls like I think 79 cents a ball now, just because they're doing bad and they wanna do some sales. I really thought that they were gonna go with Selkirk.
Me too.
Selkirk, I think it's at $2 a ball, but I think I read or heard that they were trying to make a deal with the PPA for like a little over $1 a ball. Like
Wow.
it wasn't that they were selling it for long. So it was weird that they went with the Vulcan. I'm not sure
Well, it must have been
why they did that.
a really good deal because if you're going to give me a ball for a little over $1, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Because look how many balls they use in those tournaments. They use a bunch.
And that's the other thing. I'm wondering if they're gonna, because something like I played with the Vulcan and it was super misshaped.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, maybe the third or fourth point. Like it didn't even last half a game,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very misshapen. I'm wondering if they're gonna do something like they change the balls every game, or just whenever they want to or something. I mean, are they forced to just play with that one ball until it messes up? Or can they be like, I don't want to play with this ball? Or when a team gets up to 6 or something, I don't know. You know what I mean? Because the balls do misshape it. I don't care if you play with a Franklin, a Vulcan, Selkirk, whatever.
Yeah, because of how
All
hard
of
you're
them-
hitting it.
Yeah, all of them misshapen. And some of them complain that because of that misshapen ball, it doesn't bounce the same.
Mm-hmm. No, it
So
doesn't.
you can't hit it the same, or you can't hit it the same out of the air. Blah blah. Anyways, enough about balls. Paddles. Do they matter? I always get questions of, does my paddle really matter? Like, which should I get a $200 paddle or, a $25 paddle from Amazon? Like, two for one.
What, from experience, that's a question that every person has to think about for themselves. Like me, when I first started racquetball, I started with, just a regular old paddle, a wooden paddle. And then as I got better and time progressed, the paddles got better or the rackets got better. So I said, I want that one because I found out I can put them tighter, the strings tighter, and they would hit harder. And I already had my shots down packed. So I think it's the same with pickleball. When you're a beginner, you're not going to go out and buy a $300 paddle.
Right.
So you're going to say, okay, give me that $79 paddle. And then as time goes on and you get better, you're going to want a better paddle. You're going to want a more expensive paddle because of the technology.
Yeah.
So that's like when Selkirk came out with their paddles, with the hole in the middle. Everybody said, I want one of those. So everybody went crazy. They sold out
Yeah.
they sold thousands in a month.
Yep. Like crazy.
But then they said, okay, this doesn't improve my game. I'm still hitting the same. It's not the paddle. It's the person who holds the paddle. If you remember, Ben Johns gave an expedition with his brother, and they used flip flops. So, like I said,
Well, there was. I know that they played. I think it was Kyle Yates with Ben Johns. I can't remember, but they were playing spike ball, and there's like these spike ball champion guys.
Yeah.
And they played against them, and they played with chancletas.
Yeah.
They played with freaking flip flops, And then somebody else had told me that they had played another time they played with frying pans.
Yeah.
Like,
It's up to the person holding that paddle.
yeah, for
Because-
sure. I think, in my opinion, if you are at that level, no, I mean you can play with anything.
Yeah. It's that's like you see these guys that are sponsored with all these different paddle companies. That, how can he play with that paddle? I mean, you know, well, because he's good.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. He can play with anything.
Yeah.
You know?
You can literally play with anything.
Now, if you got this guy and he's like a 3-5 for the rest of his life, no, it doesn't matter what you put in his hand, he's going to play the same.
Yeah, if he's like hitting like his form and how he's hitting the ball, yeah, for sure. But I think that, I mean, pros can obviously play with anything, but when you're pros, and especially top pros, when the top pros are playing the top pros, I think it would give them a little bit of an edge of having a decent paddle.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
For
Not
sure.
like, because if you take, you take the top guys, the top girls, whatever, and then you have them with the best technology, the one that they want, their signature paddle, all this stuff, and then you have, other top pros, but you have them with like, I don't know, like Walmart brand, paddles. You're going to see a little bit of difference.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But like I said, as far as paddles go, me myself, I like the Selkirk brand because they're pretty innovative if you think about it. They're the first one to come up with all this different technology for the paddle itself,
Right.
and they have just all different kinds of paddles.
Yeah.
Fit for different types of hitters and players.
Mm-hmm.
So I myself like those paddles because of that. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Some of them are pretty expensive. Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
$300.
But then I went and I played a couple of times of well, what do you call that? Where you hit it it's a big glass court.
That padel.
Oh, padel.
Padel, whatever. Yeah.
I said, oh, I'm gonna buy me one of these paddles. $380. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Yeah, exactly. I'll pass.
I mean, if I was
Sorry.
good, yeah, but
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
It's a huge. I think it's a huge investment, and then you have people that buy these $200 paddles, and like 2 or 3 weeks later they buy another one.
yeah,
I think that's like,
a lot of people do that.
yeah,
Well,
and that's dangerous.
that's not for me. I'm buying another one. And
Yeah.
That's not for me. And I'm buying. Dude, I mean, you got to get an extra job just to pay for your paddles and pickleball stuff.
I think it's just for me. You should just stick to that paddle, for a while,
You get used to it.
just to get used to it.
Yeah.
You can get your shots and stuff, and then after a few months, if you want to change, then cool. Unless something's happening with the paddle where you have to, return it and get another one.
Yeah.
It comes, delaminated, all types of stuff. Carbon has a few issues with that.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had that where it's like the carbon was delaminated, put it back. I got it back, delaminated. I'm done with carbon. Like I was completely done with it.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked how it hit. The spin was pretty cool. This was, I don't know when it was, but I always remember that. And when I got the second paddle back, it did the exact same thing, and it lasted about the same time, and it was not even a week
Wow.
after I got it. And I was like, son of a bitch. And I'm like, I'm done with carbon. Like, if this is what they're going to be doing, then it's just a big ass hassle for me. I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want my paddle to last. So even if I stay with it, what else is going to go wrong with it? And delaminated, I mean, you can't even play with that, especially in the kitchen. It's just,
that's another thing. People are spending a lot of money on these paddles, and they're not lasting.
Yeah.
You know, there's somebody in my family that plays with carbon, and he's already had to change his paddle 3 times
Yeah.
in 6 months. That's I'm like three of the same paddles in 6 months.
Victor.
Yeah, yeah. So that's telling me that hey, maybe I should think about another different
Switching,
paddle.
yeah, because if that quality is just not,
Yes. If it's not there,
if it's not there, then I mean, for me, anyways, and that happens with different paddles. It's not just carbon.
yeah,
There's different paddles that do that, but like me personally, that happened to me personally with carbon, and then I was like, I'm not doing carbon no more, just because of that. And I never bought another carbon. They came out with the new carbons and stuff like that. I didn't even try it. I think I hit with Victor's, but it was already delaminated.
yeah.
And I hit with it, and I was like, "Holy shit!" It was like it was worse than the one that I had before. It was like really bad. Anyways, did you? What about your paddles? Like the last 3 paddles that you've had, what could you say about them? What are like the pros and the cons that you've? Because right now you play with the Yola, right? The Perseus, and then compare that one to the one before that you had. I think it was the 5, the 005, which was
So see there again we come to does the paddle matter? Yes and no. So the number 5 the on the Selkirk, I love that paddle.
yeah.
It's got like crazy power for me. But when I'm at the net, I'm having a little bit trouble at the net with it because it doesn't grab like the Perseus does. So the Perseus, when I play with it at the net, man, I hardly miss. I hardly miss at the net.
Yeah.
And plus, it grabs the ball, but it doesn't have the power that
Right.
the Selkirk 5 has. So I'm like, so I alternate.
Yeah.
I love both paddles, but I wish that paddle can combine into one, so I can have the nice ease and touch at the net, and then power from
Power.
the back line.
You could try to. Well, I mean, doing a weight on your paddle.
Which I have.
So you could try to just put the weight on the top and then see if you get more power out of that Perseus. I like the Perseus. I played with it. I really liked it. I had always thought that Yola was going to do good things. I was into either Yola or Selkirk, and the only reason I went to Selkirk was because Yola tried to, on the contract thing, they wanted me to actually sell paddles. And I was like, I'm trying to be sponsored. I'm not trying to be a salesman. But I really like their paddles. So I heard that Downey Park is going to make some awesome courts. Their courts are going to be just like the ones in Dover Shores. So they're like going to be separate.
Fenced.
And they're fenced like individually. And I think they said 8, that they're making 8 there. We need more courts. What do you think about that? In different areas, indoor, outdoor, like.
I'm glad you brought that up. So whoever's watching this can tell Kissimmee, hey,
Right?
get with the program. Everybody around us has dedicated courts. Kissimmee, what's wrong with us?
We don't have any.
Why don't we have them? As large as we are, as many pickleball players there are in Kissimmee, and there are quite a few. I'm talking hundreds of pickleball players just in Kissimmee. And we have to go all over, everywhere else.
Yeah.
And, we can't. What's going on? We want dedicated courts.
That's the messed up part, is that we have to go, we drive 30, 40, 50 minutes.
At least.
Yeah.
Come on. So whoever's watching this, just let's get on the bandwagon and let's do something about it. Let's get some courts in Kissimmee. At least 6, 8. Come on. Right now, as you can see, pickleball is doubling every year.
It's exploding.
I mean, first we remember they said, there's like 100,000 people playing, then 500,000, then 1 million, now 2 million, now 4 million. I said, oh my God. I mean, just in that short span, it's only been 5 or 6 years since everybody started seeing what pickleball was and how to spell it. Because let's face it, 6 years ago, hardly anybody knew what pickleball was. And now it's a phenomenon. You have, not only that, it's speeding up so fast that even the sponsors and the games evolving so fast, people can't keep up with it. I think in a couple of years, it's just going to be teenagers and early 20-year-olds beating everybody. Because like right now, there's so many kids coming up in the game.
Yeah.
You got 14, 15-year-old kids that are just, wow, And it used to be just, look, 6 years ago, the top pro was 60 years old.
Yeah.
And now you have to have 3 separate leagues. You got open all the way up to 50. Then you got seniors from 50 to 60 or 70. And then you got super seniors from 70 to 90.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of those.
I get a kick out.
Some of those have like 80 plus.
Yeah.
They have like 75 plus, 80 plus for players. But
So-
I agree.
So no, the serves are getting faster. They're
Shots are getting harder.
their shots are getting. The women are just. I like to watch the women play. They are.
That's
The firefights that
yeah.
they do are incredible
Yeah, the most watched pickleball is women's
Yeah.
doubles. Yeah.
because they're ta 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 and they get
They go at it,
They get
man.
the crowd into it. Oh, and that's another thing. If you remember 4 years ago, when you watched it on YouTube, you can count the people in the crowd.
Yeah, there was.
And now they have thousands of people in the crowd.
Yeah.
So that tells you again how fast pickleball is growing.
Yeah, it's definitely growing.
So there's a demand for courts because of that. Every time I go to ORS, which is Orlando Racket Sports, it's an indoor facility in Orlando, which takes me 30 minutes to get there. I see so many new people. I mean, all the time. When I go here to Godwin in St. Cloud, not Kissimmee, every time I go, there's 2 or 3 people. Every time I go, there's always new people. And then I see more young kids. I said, in a couple of years, he's going to be a monster. In a couple of years, she's going to be so good. You know, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've been going to St. Cloud since there were just lines.
Yeah.
And tennis courts. And I mean, it seems like every single time we go, there's more people and more people. There was like 20 people yesterday, and then the day before that, it's like 20 more, 10 more, 5 more. Yeah. It's like, damn. And there's like 60 people now that go, 50 people more that go. It's like.
It looks like it's double since I went.
Yeah.
But that's wherever you go. Wherever you go, there's double the people from the first time. Like this, like in Winter Park. I used to go there. I quit going there a year and a half ago because now you have to wait 30 minutes for a game. Yeah. And they have 6 courts, right? 6 courts?
Yeah. Katie Way is the worst.
Yeah.
Katie Way has 197 people.
Woo.
Just kidding. I don't know. But it's a lot.
Yeah.
And they have 6 courts. So I think the last time I went there, I literally played, I think 3 or 4 games in about 2 hours. And I was like, damn. So it's really cool because, there's people there that are awesome. So you socialize, you talk and everything. But, it's just gotten to where you just don't play. And then how do you play and then wait like an hour to play again? Like you have to warm up all over again, you know what I mean? And then supposedly they're talking about taking those other tennis courts out and putting some more pickleball courts.
Well, they
in.
did that at Winter Garden because now they have 10 courts.
Yeah,
It's still a mess.
it's still a lot.
There's just 60, 70 people that go play
Yeah.
every night. Every night.
They need to do more courts because there's
There's such a demand for courts, but they can't
Crazy
make
demand.
them. They can't make them fast
they
enough.
can't make them fast enough. That's the problem. And for me, like the Oak Street, that place, I mean, how many pickleball courts can they freaking make in there? A crazy amount. If you just take two of the, like, how they have the one tennis court is like two tennis courts combined. You can make easily
6.
eight in there. You could easily make 8.
But
Because in the other one, the one that we usually play at, the one next to that one, they have 4 courts for the lines and then 3 on this side.
Yep.
So you could fit 4 and 4. That's 8. You could put just do one of them, and you have 8 courts there.
And I was there when the sports director for Kissimmee went down there. It was on I think Saturday morning, and he didn't even know what pickleball was.
Yeah.
Come on, how you going to
crazy.
ask for more courts when this guy doesn't even know what the sport is?
Yeah, that sucks.
Lordy, oh, that's pretty cool. And then he left, and we never heard from him again.
Yeah, and that was a while ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago. So
That sucks.
that's another thing. Some of these tournaments, they hire people. I give you a good example. The USTA,
Yeah.
they hired people or they get people, their employees to run the pickleball tournament, and they don't know. They have to read up on what it is.
Yeah.
How are you going to run?
Because they're tennis.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge tennis facility, and that's
but-
what they know. They know more tennis than
But it's so
anything.
demanding for pickleball now that they had to convert some of their courts to pickleball.
Yeah. They definitely need more there. They're doing a lot more tournaments there. And, I don't know what happened with the PPA, if they're going to even do anything else with the USTA.
I don't think so.
But I mean, I heard the last time that they did what was it, November of last year? I don't know, whatever. It was bad.
Yeah, it was
PPA
a disaster.
was super pissed. Yeah, that it was the first one that they did there was a freaking shit show. The second time, they really didn't like it. They were super unhappy. And then the third time they did it was not with USTA. They did it at Pictona. They were like, screw this. We're going to Pictona. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to fix it somehow or have people at USTA either get people that know a lot more how to do these tournaments, what to do with the courts and everything. I don't know. They definitely need something because they can definitely make a lot of money because of just the size of that place.
They're not, though.
It's ginormous.
They've already showed that they really don't care
About pickleball, they care more about tennis and everything else.
But if you go there
saying?
at any time of the day, it's empty.
Yeah,
So how are they making money?
I don't know.
You know, I've been there maybe 8 times in the past 4 months, and every time I go, it's empty.
Yeah,
You might see
I know those paddle courts are always full.
that. Yes,
They're making money off of that.
they're making money off
Those
of that,
things, man.
and
I think they have 4 courts.
they need somebody that knows how to play pickleball to run a tournament, not somebody that doesn't know nothing about pickleball.
I think they should do that because there's people that are coming in and using USTA to do tournaments, which some of them are whatever. Some of them are good, some of them are bad.
Yeah.
But I think USTA should actually just have that, like within, USTA is set it up to where they're actually doing it instead of having other people coming in using their facility for it. I think they should really focus on that because there's money in for it. You can grow the sport. You could do all types of stuff with that. I think they should do that. But like you said, I mean, it's more tennis there. And like in the beginning, when they made those, I think they made the 4 courts and the ground was like super soft or something.
yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what the hell that was.
It was spongy.
Man, we were all excited. We were like, hell yeah, some freaking courts. And we went and we were like, oh.
Yeah.
We're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And I think like the vibe that I got from there was they just don't want pickleball there.
No, they don't.
It was really strange. I was like, this is such a strange
Mm-hmm.
vibe that I'm getting from these places. Anyways, last topic would be if you have any New Year's resolutions for pickleball.
Yeah. I need to find me a good partner.
Yeah.
So,
So you want to do more tournaments?
yeah, last year I didn't really do that many tournaments. I did like maybe 4. That was it. So this year I want to do more tournaments, but at my age group,
Right. Yeah.
and I can do 70 plus.
Yeah.
I'd rather play in 60 plus, but it's not easy finding a partner. You can relate to that because
time.
I mean, you haven't had any luck.
Right.
I haven't had any luck either. It's not easy to find an over 60 woman player that's 4'5" or 5'0". It's not easy to find an over 60 guy who's 4'5" or 5'0".
Yeah.
Yeah, they're out there, but they're just scattered all over.
Yeah, and you don't know where they are. You don't know when they play.
So what I'm going to do is start going online. They have these different pickleball clubs.
Okay.
So I'm gonna attach myself to every club and ask, hey, I need a 4'5", 60 and over. Who's game? And see if I get a bite.
You got to put yourself out there more.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Visit more places. Because I'm sure it's supposedly, 2024 is supposed to bring all these courts. That's what
Let's see.
That's what the word on the street is. Is that they're gonna build a lot more courts. There's gonna be a crazy amount, but hopefully you can get yourself out there and then find more players.
I hope so.
Your age, your level. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I think I'll just play singles or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you're in a loophole too because you got better chances than I do because you're meeting a lot more people because you're an instructor.
Yeah.
So people say, "Oh, that guy's good," and this guy, and why don't you? And then people see you also. They say, "Brian, you want to play with me? You want to do this? You want to do that?" So you got a lot more chances than I do. A lot more people come to you to play.
I think you just need to find where, the old timers play. That's basically what it is because you go to a place and you find 3 5s and 4 0s freaking everywhere, right? And then you don't find a lot of 4 5s. They meet in secret places.
Yeah.
In the dark and over here at this time, whatever. It's like a secret for some stupid ass reason.
I know.
Instead of just trying to make each other better. Same crap with the 5-0s.
Yeah.
So I think you just have to know where to go and when to go.
Yeah.
Because they can be playing at ORS, but on a certain day at a certain time.
Yeah.
And then when you go, they're not there because they've already been there or
that's the thing.
they're not there that day.
Finding out what's going on. But like I said, I'm going to put myself out there, so hopefully I'll be able to find somebody.
Well, anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I wanted to talk about um, the restrictions where I live. Like, say, I wanted to put a pickleball court in my backyard,
Ah, okay, yeah.
and the HOA here says, no, you can't do it because first, one, it makes too much noise. Come on. What about during 9 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night?
Yeah. That does not make sense at all.
Yep. Darn, there's on Fridays and Saturdays, there's parties going on until 2 o'clock in the morning where everybody can hear.
Yep.
But they're having a party there, so we don't say nothing.
Yeah. I think it's crap because there's no. I want to see the whole restriction thing of the sounds,
Yeah.
right? Of the whole noise thingy.
That's silly.
Because it's all day. You're gonna play. It's not like you're gonna put on some crazy LED lights back there and play until freaking 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, right? So that's not an issue. It's just that we want to do it during the day.
Yeah.
So what is like the whole noise thing? Like I really want to see it, and I was trying to do that with the HOA too, and I was trying to email them. And once I got to where, because I was trying to do it for the tennis courts, so they just didn't get it. They thought that I was saying to just build, like out of nowhere, some pickleball court, and I was like, no, just put one in the tennis courts. Have one in the tennis courts. There's two, just do one of them. And they were saying no. And then once I got to saying, can I build one in my backyard? And they said it's a noise issue. And I asked what the noise issue was, like what it was like exactly. They never got back to me. And I emailed them and they didn't get back.
Because they can't tell you. They're just saying no because they don't even know what pickleball is. I mean, I myself went there a couple of times to talk to the sports director. And every time I said pickleball, I said, nobody is using those courts. You can go there any type of the day. And we have two nice tennis courts.
Yeah. They're
nice.
Brand new.
You can go there any time of the day. Do you see anybody? No. It's collecting leaves and dust.
Yeah.
So I put the lines with tape for pickleball many a times. And every time I go, whoosh, somebody takes up all the tape.
Yeah.
I went to the director, pickleball, what is that? So first he said no. And then I said, do you know what pickleball is? And he said, no, what is that? I said, you don't even know what it is. Why are you saying no?
Yeah, exactly.
So you know what? I'm not even going to talk to you. So I tried to go over his head. And I didn't get an answer. Because I went to the committee that's there in Kissimmee, Old Town.
Yeah.
Then there's a new director. So I asked her, I says, I would like to put pickleball courts and, just make like 2 dedicated courts because out of 1 tennis court, you can make 2 dedicated courts. She's like, well, let me look into it. So a month went by, she didn't. So I went to her again. I says, what's going on? What? I'm like, okay, never mind.
I went to them a couple times and they, you're the 4th person to come this week. I'm like, okay, what does that tell you? Like people are wanting pickleball. Like why not try to look into it or actually just consider it?
Yeah.
But they don't even consider it. And I think the whole issue is that they think it's going to take away from their bonus or something because they're collecting that money. They're like, we don't want to spend our money to help out people in the community.
That's a shame.
I think that's what it is.
That's a shame.
My New Year's resolution was just to play once a month of tournaments. And if I can't find anybody, then I can't find anybody. I would just play singles or I would drag Faith with me, make her play with me for the mixed doubles. But that's mine. Not really. And I didn't really set the bar too high for this year. The other one, I think that I could reach it this year is try to actually get sponsored so that I could go into pro. events. Because the crap is just too much freaking money. The APPs and the PPAs and
Yeah, they raised all the prices.
it's crazy, man. It's hundreds and hundreds of dollars if you want to freaking play. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that.
It's too much.
It's a lot. And I mean, that's not even including, traveling and all that other expenses.
And then the bad thing is, once you lose, that's it. You're out.
You're done.
You can play one game, you're out.
Yeah. Sometimes it's single,
But I got a
double
hotel
elimination.
and I spent $200. You're out.
Enjoy your stay.
Yeah.
That's it.
You can watch the games.
Yeah, exactly. You can, for $25, you can stay and watch. They probably charge you anyway.
Oh, yeah. Now, of course, they're charging.
They charge, yeah. They charge everybody. If you're not playing in it, then they charge you. I don't think that pickleball is there yet.
But it's going to be.
But it will be to where, to everywhere that you go, every event that people will want to pay to watch these pros and everything. And people do pay. But for right now, I don't think it's there where it's like I have to go watch them. Something like an MLP thing would be something down that, because it's like my team, I want to watch my team, so I'll pay to go watch my team. That's how it is in every sport anyway.
But if you look, the fans are still there. I mean, they're full all the time.
Yeah.
On all the pro games.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's not there yet, but I think in a couple of years, it's going to be $50 to $60 to go and watch. Look at tennis. I mean, tennis charges over $100 a person.
Yeah.
That's just to watch. That's not to sit in one of the little stadiums and watch them play
Yeah.
a game. So yeah, it's going to get up there.
Yeah, you have it. Yeah, I mean, that's for every sport.
Mm-hmm.
All these sports are doing that. Some charge way more than what they should, and way more than other sports. But I think it'll get there.
Yeah, me too.
Hopefully it'll get there, and hopefully we get these courts. That's my whole thing, is to get these damn courts, man. That way we have it closer to us, and we have more courts, and it'll just be like kind of everywhere. When
Hopefully, I win the lottery, so I can I can put the courts over there myself.
Oh, sure. Don't hold your breath, pal. I went to Arizona, and Arizona had
They got nice.
umpteen freaking courts. It was like almost every time I turned a corner, there was pickleball courts. There was 4, there was 8, there was 10. I was like, what?
Yeah, here it's not like that.
It was great. I'm like, this is how Florida should be, especially Florida.
Florida should be the top number one state, because it's always warm here.
Yeah.
And they have more tournaments here than they have anywhere else.
Yeah, that just baffles me that we don't have that many freaking courts.
It's a shame.
It sucks. Well, all right. Anything else?
That's it for me.
That's it for now.
I got to go to work.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
I'm retired and I got to go to work.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank our guest, Pickleball Pete, for stopping by. Hopefully we'll have some more pickleball podcasts, Farley Pickleball podcasts with Pickleball Pete. Until next time.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. See you later. Peace. See you on the courts.